Omar's the man, but UEFA set to ban Manchester United, looking at possible banning from European competitions next season. Interesting, we need to look at that. And Omar Berrada has been given permission to sack Ten Hag. Well, not so much that, but Sir Jim Ratcliffe is definitely handing over responsibility for all football-related matters to Omar Berrada, Manchester United's new CEO. A massive new 100-seater, 1,000-seated stadium. I said seated twice then, but yeah, hopefully they'll be standing and safe standing in it too as well. There is so much to talk about this morning, guys. It's Monday. Welcome to the Midday Show. I am Adam. This is Forever United TV. We are talking all Manchester United right now. There's plenty of lots more transfer speculation as we edge ever closer to this summer's window as well. Get your comments in the live section, everybody. Welcome along. Hope you had a great weekend. Obviously, give the video a like as well while you're at it. It just shows your kindness and your love and support for the channel. And obviously, if you are just tuning in and wanting to get involved in the live chat, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well and get involved. Get your comments in after the finished live stream as well, guys, because I want to get your thoughts on all of the topics today, because there's absolutely loads going on with United right now, and I think the best place to start is the ban that could possibly be coming in for Manchester United when it comes to European football next season. Obviously, we know that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has just taken over Manchester United sporting operations at the football club, and obviously is now part of the ownership alongside the Glazers. We also do know that he owns all of French club Nice in Ligue 1, so them buying 4 European places in their division in League 1 this season, as well as Manchester United trying to get into the Champions League / Europa League / Conference League, because it could be either free right now, adds complications, because some people have sort of said, look, this won't happen. You've got other clubs with dual ownerships that are getting away with it, but a report in The Sun then carried out onto the Mail as well, and a few other people talking about this now have actually been in touch and tried to find out exactly what's going on and what happens if this scenario comes to where both teams are in the same competition next season. And I'll read an extract from the Daily Mail which goes into detail on this, which is: a source from the organisation confirmed, that is of UEFA, to the news, to the Sun News, it is correct that Manchester United and Nice cannot play in the same competition. They could play in different competitions, as there is no feeding between competitions anymore. As it stands, Ten Hag's team sit 6 points behind Tottenham and 9 behind Aston Villa. Well, that's wrong, because we're 8 behind Villa in the race for European qualification. However, the FA Cup remains a viable entry into the European competitions for the club, as even if Manchester City retain their crown, the additional league space given a European berth would go to their rivals. That would be Manchester United, of course. This normally wouldn't be an issue. However, should that happen while Nice secure a Europa League spot through the 5th place finish in Ligue 1, they would take precedence over United, forcing the Premier League club to drop into the Conference League, Europa Conference League. However, if United managed to triumph in the FA Cup this season, they would take precedence, and Francesco Fariola's side would instead be placed in the Conference League. Now, for one, I don't like the talk of Europa League and Conference League. Let's try and concentrate on the Champions League, shall we? And just look at that. Just finish as best as you can. This is all that this comes down to. There's a lot of detail and there's a lot to get through in this. All permutations go out of the window if United finish higher than what Nice do in their league right now. And just so you've got an idea of where Nice are actually at right now, they're going through a bad run. They've had a very good start to the season and were second in the league at one point, just behind PSG, but one win in the last 5 with a few other bad results before that as well leaves Nice lying in 5th. Now, yeah, you know what I'm thinking, and you know how complicated this is. It's like United are 6th, Nice are 5th. United, I think, if we get into 5th, I've got a good chance of qualifying. But the way that Ligue 1 works is the top 4 places don't automatically get Champions League. The 4th spot is a qualifying for the Champions League in France. Now, France and their coalition are miles off it, so Manchester United are in a stronger position there for the Champions League. Nice sitting in 5th behind Lille, Monaco, Brest and PSG right now. It's close. It's very close. There's only 4 points from 2nd to 5th in Ligue 1. So that's the issue, United. We're miles away from 3rd, and all we've got to fight for top end of our season is 4th. Let's be honest and realistic. That's what we're fighting for right now. So Nice, if they manage to have a good end to the season, could take our Champions League spot away from us, then dropping us down into the Europa League, even if we qualified. This is what UEFA is saying. I don't know if they're going to change the rules or if something's going to be not so much enhanced, but shaken up a little bit with this. But this is genuine concern for Manchester United now, because I was under the assumption that there are multiple dual ownership clubs playing in Europe at the moment. Obviously, this is going to be highlighted to the max because Manchester United are taking huge investment in from Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and everyone's eyes are all on Manchester United right now. So I don't know if UEFA are looking at that and going, look, we need to obviously stand firm in our rules here. But according to the reports and according to what has been said and looked into, UEFA will move Manchester United down if Nice finish in a stronger position. So all of the efforts of Manchester United this season could all come down to absolutely nothing, according to this report. Now, whether this report is bang on and nothing changes from now until the end of the season, then obviously we are in a little bit of bother. Let's just say that. So Ten Hag literally could qualify for the Champions League and then be kicked out and then be sacked. And that would be a complete roller coaster of a ride and really unfair, in my opinion, on Erik Ten Hag. We are looking on the positive, we're looking on the up, but it all could be for nothing if these rules do not change. And if UEFA want to uphold their rules, and you know how stubborn they are, they can really have an effect on Manchester United and Ineos' first season at the football club. They could be knocking us down, not just... And this is... So the permutations are... So what UEFA could do to United is literally, we could be in the Europa League, they could knock us down into the conference. If something goes south for Nice in their league and they are falling like United are in their both of their respective leagues, then it could be that United are in the Conference League, but if Nice finish in the Conference League at a higher spot, obviously because of the coalition pushing down the qualification of positions in the Premier League by, I mean, like if we get 5th in the Premier League, the Europa moves down 1, the Conference League moves down 1. So still, if Nice finished in their qualifying, let me just double check what it is so I've got this all clear. So if say for instance, if Nice finished in 5th spot, that's Europa League for them. Manchester United finished in 5th. The coalition would take us into the Champions League and we will be okay, if that makes sense. But if Nice finish in 3rd or 2nd, which they're only 4 and 3 points off in their division, it's a lot more open in League 1, then United would be dropped down into the Europa League, even if we qualified. That's what UEFA is saying, and that's what the rules are stating right now. Whether or not there is going to be a bit of a shake-up and it's changed a little bit, it's just complicated, really, really complicated. If Nice finished in their Conference League position, and Manchester United did, but Nice had a better position in the league, then United will be kicked out of Europe altogether. I don't think that will be the case because we have got the FA Cup. But the worst one, I think, was if it all goes wrong, United finish in 6th, we don't qualify for the Europe, you don't qualify for the Champions League. We go into the final against City if we do beat Coventry, that is. Let me get that clear. And City win the final, United then will go, oh, we're at least in the Europa League. Well, no, we won't be. We will be kicked out of the Europa League because Nice finished 5th and we finished 6th. Back into the Conference League. So we literally could be on the cusp of going into the Champions League, just miss out, get to a final, lose that final, and then get kicked into the Conference League. That is the worst case scenario, I feel, for United in all of this. If what he said is true, they are the permutations and the issues United and Ten Hag could face, Sir Jim Ratcliffe could face come this summer. Make of that what you will. Hopefully I made that quite clear and understandable. It's very, very complicated. All you need to know is United need to win a lot of games and finish as high as they possibly can just to give themselves a chance of staying in the Europa League. Because Nice are on the court, like Nice are very, very close when it comes to their position in the league. They have got a few places to move. United have got, 1 or 2. So Nice in 5th, United in 6th. But Nice are 4 points off 2nd place. United are 8 points off 4th. So whoever finishes highest in their league gets preference with UEFA. So whatever it is, if we're both, say for instance, United finish 6th, that's Europa League. But if Nice finish 5th, that's also Europa League. Nice take Europa League, United get dropped to the Conference League. United could finish 4th and still be kicked out to the Europa if Nice finish in 3rd or 2nd and get Champions League. You get where I'm going with it. It's all about position in the league that takes preference. And position in the league would also... the only way United would take preference over a position in the league for any position is the Europa League. If we won the FA Cup, that would knock Nice out, even if they finished higher than us, say their 5th position. Yeah, absolute cocktail of different permutations and issues for United to deal with. It's complicated as hell. It really is. It really is. But yeah, we are relying on us performing from now until the end of the season. But there's that horrible feeling. And just reading that, it's like, God, we could go on and win 8 games out of the next 10. Comfortably qualify for the Champions League, but not qualify for the Champions League. That's where we're at with it. It really is. So United would have to finish at least level with Nice for whatever competition we're competing for. If we both finish 4th, just so you're clear on this, United would get the Champions League spot, because it's only a qualification for a Champions League spot in Ligue 1 in France. God, it's absolute complications and beyond this. My God, it's confusing me as I'm trying to explain it. But yeah, that pretty much is it. Get as many points and as many wins as you possibly can, and just pray that we finish ahead of Nice. That's all you need to know, because UEFA, being UEFA, will probably use United as the example for the first time that this has come about, and kick us out of whatever competition it is that we're in and what we've qualified for. There we go. That's that one out of the way. Guys, I'm going to come to the chat. I've not seen any of them yet. I'm just going to see if there's any confused sort of comments in the comment section right now, because I'm sure there is, and I'll try and clear everything up. So if you've got any questions, just get them in the comment section now. Before we move on, let's just clear up the UEFA standing situation and where the dual ownership is. Cliff says, the nice thing. Right, got ya. Yeah. Was a worry when Ineos got the contract. Cliff basically saying there he's clear on it, and was worrying about this when Ineos did take over. Man United isn't Ineos, it's a gym. Nice is Ineos. He's a board member, it's fine. Same ad coefficiency situation. Well, no, I know what you're saying there, Dan. This is what I was convinced of beforehand. But the report going in is that, and that's the latest one, which was yesterday. So I was with you, Dan, on this one, in terms of there is a way around it, but they're saying there isn't right now. So realistically, I think they're going to have to just do some changing around it. If it gets tight and it looks like this is going to come to the wire and it'd be literally a place between both clubs, then I think something's going to have to change. Like Sir Jim is going to have to do some messing around somewhere and try and figure this out. Can't see Sir Jim letting this happen. Surely he has a plan for it. Exactly, boxing. That's what he's going to have to be ready for. Ultimately, I don't think anyone is hoping that this happens. But if it does, then United... Oh, can you imagine if United got kicked out because of Nice and Sir Jim's other club? Oh my God, it would be open day for abuse for all of Manchester United. The fans, everyone would be getting it big time if that happened. We would be the laughing stock of world football. Don't forget, if you qualify for the Champions League, they won't be dropping into the Europa League. I don't know what you mean by that one. If you qualify for the Champions League, they won't be dropping into the Europa League. If we qualify for the Champions League, Nice cannot play in the Champions League, is what UEFA is saying. Let me just clear this up and make sure you're aware. I'm reading the report, and that's what I'm taking it from. So according to that report, United cannot play in the same competition as Nice as it stands. Now, things can change, like Dan said there, in terms of just being a board member, what ownership, how much ownership. There probably will be loopholes that United can get through and get around this, but right now as it stands, UEFA have an opportunity to set a marker post for every other dual ownership club going forward. I think the question in all of this is that will UEFA use this as their opportunity to stamp their authority? I think more than anything. That's how I'm looking at it. I agree with Andrew. He's just a shareholder. Ineos don't own Nafal. In terms of what they own, they do own, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe does own Nice. Like I said, I'm with you guys in terms of where it was at. I just have to go off what this report was saying, and they're saying that they both cannot play in the same competition. And like I said, it all comes down to whether or not UEFA want to kick up a stink. So let's just leave it as it is. If United just finish higher, then you've just got to pray that happens, and we take all of these questions out of the equation, because I guarantee they would choose this and make it their sole purpose to try and complicate things, UEFA. You know what they like. Yes, Adam, Man United town again, clown town again if we get kicked out of Europe because of Nice. Embarrassing. Yes, I know. Graham says, can you imagine UEFA excluding United to make a point rather than make money? No, neither can I. I know what you're saying, Graham. I know what you're saying. And yeah, I am on. I was always convinced beforehand that we could get around this. I've said this on many shows. I said this is, like Graham said there, it's all about money to UEFA. I really don't see them kicking out one of the biggest teams in Europe. They did it with City. They buckled there. Real Madrid and Barcelona have got away with it for years. How many times have I said on my shows, Barcelona and Real Madrid are still in the Super League. They still want a Super League, and UEFA are still allowing them to play in their competition. The direct competition for UEFA in the Champions League, the two of the biggest clubs in world football are still endorsing the Super League, and UEFA are still allowing them to play in the Champions League. That tells you where UEFA's mindset is, and it is all about the money with UEFA. It always has been. So it just depends how they're going to handle this. I personally think that we are going to be safe and there's going to be no issues. Well, there's going to be issues, but I think we'll get around them. But yeah, you can just imagine this. It'll be typical United, won't it? It will. They would make an example of us because of the Super League. We started it with Real. We did sort of kickstart that under the Glazers, didn't we? We really did. Let's just see what else we've got. I want to move on anyway. Guys, that's enough on UEFA scaring everyone with this report. Well done, The Sun and the Daily Mail, for putting the frighteners up, all Man United fans. Yeah, you're good at that. Omar Berrada has been given the keys to all authority at Manchester United, it would seem. And with it, the man who is going to make the big call on Erik Ten Hag. And that is, that's come from Samuel Luckhurst of the MEN. I think when you look at it, even if you're looking at it from the outside, you would say Man United definitely are in a better position with the people that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is employing. Why not just let them people that you've spent so much time and money on and getting the best in class to make the big footballing decisions? And a big footballing decision is definitely on the managerial front and who we want as our manager going into next season. Omar Berrada would be the de facto kingmaker on any decision taken over Erik Ten Hag's future. So Jim Ratcliffe does not want to intervene to determine Ten Hag's fate and intends to delegate the football expertise of Omar Berrada. That being said and tweeted out by Samuel Luckhurst today. I agree with this completely. It is a case of this man knows what he's doing. This man's been there, seen it and done it all. We don't need anyone who isn't experienced in this situation coming in and making a mistake. Omar Berrada, like we said, we know the experience of the man. We know what he's got behind him. We know the powers he has got, the people he knows in world football. He basically has done this all before and knows exactly what to do in this situation. So Jim Ratcliffe handing over that decision to him, I think, is exactly what Manchester United need to be doing right now. And it's a good start for Sir Jim Ratcliffe. It is. It takes the pressure off him. And he just puts it all onto the man that knows how to handle that sort of thing. So, yeah, I completely agree with that. I do think Omar Berrada looks at the football more. And obviously, he cannot work at the moment because he's on gardening leave. But I'm sure conversations have been going on. I'm sure as soon as that gardening leave is completed and Omar Berrada is in situ, there will be a meeting, a sit-down with the players, the power players at United, i.e. being Ten Hag, probably. Well, we don't know about Dan Ashworth yet. Still waiting on that one, obviously. But I'm guessing Sir Jim Radcliffe, Terry Brailsford, possibly. I don't know whether Jean-Claude Blanc would be involved in this. But, yeah, I would expect all of the main players to be sat down and just organising Manchester United going forward. It all depends. And we all know that it's all going to come down to what happens this season with Ten Hag. But like I said, I'm only bringing up the UEFA situation right now and what they could possibly do to United at the end of this season, because all of Ten Hag's future hangs in the balance right now on results, on what he actually wins and where United are actually competing next season, i.e. is it going to be Europa League? Is it going to be Champions League? We all think that, and what reports have said, plenty, is that if Erik Ten Hag is not in the Champions League next season, he's probably going to be losing his job. There's quite a lot of journalists and media going on that story. So Omar Berrada, I think, he's going to be looking at the football side of things, looking at what Ten Hag has done in the market, looking at the players he's brought in, and basically looking at Manchester United as a whole and how we're going to get through the rest of this season. Has he got the squad and the players involved? Has he got them on board with him? It does look that way. Ten Hag's stock right now is quite high. Just off the back of a great win against Liverpool. If we hit the ground running now when we come back on Saturday against Brentford, then everything's looking rosy. And United could really finish the season on a high. It would be brilliant to see it all being turned around by Ten Hag. 2024 has been good to him so far. Only 2 defeats in the league. Bad one against Fulham, I know. And then a horrible one against City. But we are looking decent in 2024. So far, I think, what is it now? I think it's 14 games. I think we've had 2 defeats or something like that. So he needs to carry that forward. A big 10 games coming up, as well as the FA Cup games. So a dozen games left for Ten Hag to save his season and convince Omar Berrada that he is the man to take United forward. Then they can deal with the other side of the issue, which is Ten Hag and how much power he has. This all could work out where Ten Hag does get to where he wants to, i.e. Champions League, possibly win the FA Cup, but then ends up going of his own accord because he doesn't want to relinquish that power that he's got and the transfers, and he doesn't want to work with that structure. He's said all the right things so far in that Ineos and him have both got the same vision going forward. Yeah, proof is in the pudding, in the eating, and that is that we see an agreement between Ten Hag, Ineos, Berrada, Ashworth. They're the ones that are making certain key decisions, and Ten Hag's going to have to fall in line with that. So, yeah, it all comes down to that at the end of the day. Ten Hag is gone, says Boxing Straight Talk. We don't know. We don't know. At the moment, I'm saying 60-40 out, just because of what I'm talking about there. Never mind the results on the pitch. That's hard enough as it is. I just think there's more issues behind the scene with Ten Hag, and we're not hearing everything. I think there's more to come out in this. I agree, CEO is meant to be running the show, so I guess we see when he comes in, says Leo. Yes, we do. Let's get them likes up, people, says Roddy. Yes, please, everyone, please give the video a like. Let's get up to that 100 mark. We're not a million miles away now. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button as well, people. Let me see. We need a Conference League trophy. We haven't got one yet. Ramo, behave. We don't want to be anywhere near that in our trophy cabinet. I'd be embarrassed to put it in the trophy cabinet. Carol says, does that mean he has to say he has a say on John Murto, coaches, medical staff, etc.? Everything, Carol, yes. He's in charge of running the football club. He will run the lot. A lot of the recruitment side, transfers, things like that will be run probably by Dan Ashworth. So Omar Berrada will have a setup where he deals with, I think at City he was doing about 4-man's jobs. That's how good he is. So he will have a hand in absolutely everything. But hiring and firing, I think, will come down to him, yes. That's a good point to make there, Carol. I'm just kidding, says Ramo. Don't want that Conference League. No, well, we need to be far away from it. Fletch says, Dan Ashworth, get me Southgate. If you can get him, then get me Potter. If you can't get him, then get me Potter. No, that's not what Dan Ashworth's saying. I hope he's not, mate. I really do. I hope you're completely wrong. I'm not going to say you're wrong because we don't know, like I said, what's going on behind the scenes. So let's just cross our fingers and hope that he has got a different outlook and he's looking at United in a totally different way. Because honestly, I'd rather have Ten Hag. I'd rather have Ten Hag than any manager that's being linked with Dan Ashworth or who Dan Ashworth knows. We haven't got a Johnston's Paint Trophy either, but don't want one. We're never going to be. Give over with the crap competitions, will you? No disrespect to the teams that are actually in them. Myrtle, new lavatory attendant, says Stephanie. We are definitely 9 behind Villa at least. Check the table. Is it 9? I didn't think it was. I'm having a look at that now. Is it 9? I thought it was 8. Villa are on 56. United are on. Yeah, 47. No, it's right. Yeah, we are 9 behind. Sorry, I got that wrong. Oh, thanks for clearing that one up. Doesn't matter anyway. Game in hand on them at least. So effectively, we can win that. It's 6. It does look a lot more comfortable then, doesn't it, as well? It does. Right, into other news as well. I want to talk about a few things today, actually. I was going to talk about this one yesterday about Manchester United. We have to talk about all the transfer stuff. But, yeah, Aaron Anselmino from Boca Juniors is a young centre-back that United are looking at sealing this deal. 15.6 million, I think. He will be one of them players that we buy and then loan back out. The noise coming out from this possible deal is that he will come in and then be loaned out to a European club to gain experience and then come in after that. So pretty much you're just hoping like you get stuff like Real Madrid have got with Hendrick, don't you? And like what he's doing, he's still in out there in Brazil. He's absolutely smashing it on the international scene, and Real Madrid just know that he's already done deal, walking into Real Madrid's side. Well, absolutely killing it. These are the sorts of deals that you would expect a well-run club to sort of put in and get done. Find the talent, nurture that talent elsewhere, and bring them through at the right time. This is all down to a good footballing structure. And Real Madrid's changing tact and not just going down the Galactico route is definitely paying dividends for them right now. And they look like they have got a production line of pure raw talent continuously coming through into that football club, which is going to be there forever and a bleeding day. It really is. So yes, it's going to be interesting to see how Manchester United kickstart this new era under Ineos, but they won't go far from being successful if they copy the model that Real Madrid are doing right now in finding these young talented players and then just making life as easy as possible for them to make that transition into the big league. It does take a couple of steps, not just one big leap. I think that is too much for a lot of players, definitely coming to Manchester United anyway. Ryan Ball, welcome to the Members Club, gifted by the legend Fred. Thank you for that, Fred. Make sure you do give him a thank you, Ryan, in the chat as well. Loving all our members at the moment. There will be a members video going out later on today, guys, as well. So all members, stay tuned to that one, please. Let me see now what else we've got in the chat on this one. Everyone's saying Fred's a legend. Yes, he is a legend. Thank you. Almost at the 100 likes, guys. Get it up. Everyone keep liking the video, please. Let's get it up as high as possible. And let me know in the comment section as well when it comes to not just Anselmino, from Boca Juniors. Is that the way that United should be doing their business now? Finding the young, raw, talented players, loaning them out, letting them mature, come through, and then making that leap. I think the structure works well. I do. I think the structure works well on that one. So I honestly feel like that's the best way forward for United, because you look at other transfer news and Neto's price tag from Wolves. We talked about this the other day. Neto's price tag at Wolves is at 60 million. Is Neto worth 60 million, guys? Atleti are actually saying we are off our heads for saying that Mason Greenwood is worth 50 million, by the way. I'm like, do one. Like, yeah, there's issues behind the scene, but this guy's tearing it up in La Liga. If you're not willing to pay 50 million for him, jog on. Seriously, jog on. It's an absolute joke. But 60 million for Neto. What are we saying, guys? We have passed the 100 like mark, guys. Honest Tiger has dropped a membership in, and that's been taken by Paul Greaves. Paul, thanks. Thanks for Honest Tiger. Make sure you do thank him, Paul. But welcome to the members club, my man. Absolute legends are in the house today. Loving this loving this FUTV community, guys. It's brilliant. But yes, Leo says, question, do United keep increasing the Mason Greenwood price tag so no one can afford him? So in the end, he gets brought back. That would be sneaky. Hey, football business, and I'm not just saying United do this. There's probably all sorts of big clubs that try to sort of sneakily get deals done and sort of do what you're saying there, Leo. I know what you're saying. I don't think that will be the case. I think he will end up being sold. It's very, very risky. It's going to be very risky business for United to bring Mason Greenwood back to the football club. It will. But still, there is always that opportunity that could happen. There really is. So let's just see what happens on that one. But I think 50 million is a fair price for Mason Greenwood. The age he is, the way he's performing, yeah, you can sort of say, oh, well, look at the issues behind the scenes, but I don't think that even comes into question in La Liga now. He's played there all season, and I mean, honestly, I think United just have to try and treat this as a normal transaction as possible, and just say and be strong with it. And I think with Ineos in charge, I think they will. I think they will stay strong with this and stick to their guns. Let me see what else we've got in the chat right now. Yeah, let's see if we can get that 150 mark. Stephanie's calling that out. Graham says, paying over 100 million for João Felix means Athletic can afford that fee. They can afford that fee. You're right, Graham. They certainly can. I think they're just using the situation to their advantage, which is why I said the other day, Juventus actually being interested in Greenwood as well. Getafe, Athletic, Barcelona. I think all of them coming together, I think that helps us get rid of Mason Greenwood for a decent price. And I think we are going to need it because we need investment. There is a small rumour going around that Johnny Evans is going to retire at the end of this season as well. I've not seen that on any major account online or anything like that, but it is just something that's actually going around that is a possibility. I mean, that would leave United in a world of trouble, especially if Varane is going and Lindelof is going. So, yeah. I don't know about that one. That is not a definite, by the way. There's something I've seen earlier on. The other issue United have got in defence right now is mental health issues and physical issues with Tyrell Malacia. I was going to talk about this on last night's show. This came out yesterday, that he is struggling. I think the mental health issues coincide with the physical ones, because if you are a professional footballer and your whole life is built around playing football, your livelihood is built around playing football, and you cannot physically get yourself out on that pitch and compete, then it is going to start draining you mentally as well. And I think this is where Tyrell is. I mean, this will be one of the longest injuries ever. Like, I don't know anyone who's been out with a longer injury for one sustained spell of time than this. I mean, you're talking Phil Jones territory here right now with Tyrell. It was such a weird scenario. Like, social media posts all summer alongside training with Marcus Rashford. I think apparently this is where the injury actually happened. Good mates with Marcus, as we know from all of the social media posts from the summer. And he's gone completely incognito. You're not hearing from him at all. And this is a big concern for United. I mean, again, another defender and another defensive issue for the football club. Like, we hope he turns the corner and starts to feel better. I think it will ultimately all come down to, like I said, if he is fit and can physically play football. So, yeah, I'm gutted for him, and I can totally understand the situation and the issues that he's having right now. It's enough to send anyone into a sort of form of depression or whatever situation he's going through right now, because not being able to play football as a professional footballer must be the worst feeling in the world, and that's what we're having to deal with right now. Evans joined United to help him with his coaching badge. To be honest, Evans joining United for that, Jordan. He's turned out to be one of our best centre-backs this season. So I think Evans is helping United more than United helping Evans. Who'd have thought that? When that deal all went through, it just looked like friends and friends for the boys again, jobs for the boys again, didn't it? With Johnny Evans. But in fact, it's totally turned around the other way. And it now looks like Johnny Evans has really pulled Man United out of the shit this season, because he's been outstanding, let's be honest. He has been our best centre-back alongside Rafael Varane for me, and consistently performing at the highest level. I mean, you've got to give him credit. You really do. And I keep saying this all the time his name is mentioned. I would give him another year. I would definitely give Johnny Evans another year. I don't want him to retire yet. He's one of our better defenders now. There's other players that need to leave this football club before Johnny Evans. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm going to say on that one. But yeah, I hope he doesn't. But if it comes to it, more and more problems for Manchester United going forward into this summer, especially in the defensive department. My God, what is going on there? It's unheard of. Paul Greaves says, without sounding as if I don't care, because I do, but surely at an organisation like United there is a support for mental health issues and the players can access. There is, and they probably will be. I think this is where the reports are coming from. It's like, I think there's a lot of talk about no one's seen anything of Tyrell Malacia. Some people have even made videos on it, which I think is below the belt. Like, what's happened to him? Where's he gone? Is there a problem? I don't think we need to be making content like that, and I think it is below the belt, anyone doing that, personally. It doesn't need to be brought to light, but I think because of things like that, this situation has now come to light a little bit more, and people are asking, like, actually, where is he? Is he okay? Because we're not hearing from him. We're seeing no pictures, nothing. So I think this is why it's come about and why it's been sort of leaked out. Well, not so much leaked out, but there is some walks of social media talking about it a lot more. Vexto, welcome to the Members Club, my friend. Our other legend of the channel, General Foodie, has donated that membership. Thank you, General Foodie. Absolutely love that, buddy. Almost at the 150 like mark, guys. Please do also download our SofaScore app. Bottom right hand corner there, guys, is a QR code. If you just scan that, it is completely free. And you get the best football stats and ratings, everything you need to know about your football team on that app. Other sports as well, but this, trust me when I say it, this app is the fastest that there is out there, guys. Like, instantly. Everything you need and the most in-depth, in-game stats and ratings and updates you will get anywhere. It's free, guys. Just scan that QR code or drop in the description. We have a link for you there as well, guys. It's all free. Use our Forever United TV link and get straight in on it. I wanted to talk about the new stadium. A 100,000-seater brand new stadium for Manchester United. Populous, the ones who have designed Spurs' stadium, and the new Moroccan Madagascar stadium I seen as well. 115,000, largest stadium in the world development under their guidance is going ahead now. They're the people that are in charge overseeing Manchester United's new stadium, because I'm telling you now, we're going to be getting a new stadium. This is where it's all being pushed. It's easier, it's simpler. We've talked about this in detail constantly as to how this works better for Manchester United and Ineos going forward. It does. The new stadium is definitely the way forward, I feel, and is what's going to happen. I just feel like they're just letting it, the noises of the new stadium, how they're working it for me is, it's been brought up, the conversation happened, there was a whole debate and it all went a little bit crazy and everyone's like, no, you can't get rid of Old Trafford. No, everyone's done videos on it now, everyone's talked about it, and it's sort of just tired itself out. And then now they'll start talking about it a bit more, starting putting things in place. And everyone's sort of just come accustomed to a new stadium going up at Old Trafford now. So I feel like that's what's going to happen. I think it was always going to be the case, and I think it will benefit United better than redeveloping Old Trafford. I do, in the short term and the long term, because Old Trafford's going nowhere for at least another 3 or 4 years, in which realistically is the time it's going to take to build a brand new stadium. So yeah, I'm not worried too yet in the short term. Old Trafford is still going to be there for a while. We're still going to get some exciting, memorable moments from it over the next 4 years, and then we move into a new stadium. I think everyone should be looking at that and going, look, by the time that new stadium is built, where will Ineos have got Manchester United? I think Ineos want to make this happen to a point where United are competing again, then all of a sudden, bang, let's take it to that next level, and then is a new stadium, state-of-the-art, statement stadium. Biggest in, it's got to minimum be the biggest in Europe, man. You've got to be getting more, you've got to be on a par with the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona. As a bare minimum, I am with the 100,000 seat. It needs to be statement. It needs to be at least 100,000. United will fill that stadium. Guaranteed they will fill it. You have to have better football and more entertaining football to do that, though, which is why I feel Ineos's plan is to concentrate on getting the team in a place where we are competing. 100,000 seater stadium does not belong in the Europa League or the Europa Conference League, does it? It doesn't. It needs to be Champions League football. It needs to be knockout stages of Champions League football. It needs to be hosting the biggest international games, boxing events, concerts, absolutely everything. It has to cater for everyone, not just Manchester United. This is how you have to think as a modern football club. You cannot stand still and think that football is going to be the be-all and end-all and the only way that you fill a stadium. There has to be other events at it, and there will be. There will be. Think of the money that will generate for this football club, and I think we'll definitely put Manchester United firmly back on the map, because we are on the map. We're just a little like sort of fading dot on the map right now because of our relevance in football and how well we're doing, which is crap. But we can get back there. 3 years' time, this team may have gone on another level, competing again, and all of a sudden you throw a new stadium into the mix and bang, there you go. That is Man United back. Andrew, how are you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Agreed, Adam. We would fill 100,000 stadium. We would. Like, the waiting list, like, literally, they're trying to force season ticket members out now. Like, literally trying to force us out now if we cannot meet a certain criteria for going to games in a season. Like, we have to now next season at least attend 17 of the 19 games in the league. Forget the circumstances and everything else. Like, they know. And the waiting list for Manchester United season tickets is as high as it's ever been. And it's only going to get more and more and more. If the football starts coming back, then everything is going to be so much better for Manchester United. Jordan says, you think with the new stadium will come with sponsorship naming rights? Yes, I do. I have talked about that in depth as well before. General Foodie says, I'm all for new stadium if we can keep Old Trafford in some capacity. The plans are that it will be sort of, let's say, knocked down a little bit, restructured into maybe a 40,000 stadium that the youth team and the women's team can play. That's the ideal plan. That has been talked about a lot as well. So I think that's the idea from Ineos. I think that will help a lot of fans deal with moving from Old Trafford and not seeing it completely destroyed and dismantled down to rubble. I'm happy with a new 100,000 seater stadium, but I would prefer a more traditional look from the outside. All the magic and futurization can be done inside. Yeah, I mean, there are some good-looking AI ones out there, aren't there? There are some far-out, like, weird-looking things as well. So I think it has to work on every single aspect. The look, inside, the experience, the atmosphere, everything has to be perfect. And they have got the best in class, again, like Ineos promised, to oversee this operation of changing Manchester United and the infrastructure of the stadium and around it. So, yeah, it will be a sought-after area because of the buildings going around Salford Quays and Media City area. It is already a sought after area now, with apartments flying up and new buildings going up everywhere. This is only going to enhance the other side of the Quays where Old Trafford sits, and it will make it one of the places that people want to live in. It will. Manchester is booming right now, and this is only going to put it even more firmly on the map for people wanting to live here, wanting to work here. And let's be honest, like, the job opportunities that are going to come around with this as well, because it isn't just a brand new stadium. Like we said, that task force that she's come into Manchester United is going to be building up the infrastructure around, hotels, restaurants, bars, clubs, whatever it's going to be. The whole experience around Old Trafford is going to have a massive facelift, not just the stadium. So this is huge for the Trafford and Stretford area, Manchester area, all linking in together. This is just, I think, a massive opportunity, and Ineos are grabbing it. They can see the potential, and I think they're going to run with this and I think they're going to make a mint out of it as well. Plus, naming rights will help with financial fair play and bill cost, says Jordan Hall, who has been a member for 1 month. Congratulations, Jordan. Great achievement from you, and I'm glad you've renewed as well, mate. I love that. It's fantastic. Populous are building a 120,000 stadium in Morocco for the 2030 World Cup. Yeah, I just mentioned that actually, Paul, but you're right. It is going to be the biggest stadium in the world, and they are building that one. So that spurs all their other experience. I think it works for United. I think we definitely have got the best out there to deal with this, and hopefully we are going to see something spectacular. Something absolutely spectacular. It's going to blow everyone else out the water. I have my doubts on Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos that they aren't the right ones to bring back the glory days. Everyone's got doubts, Andrew, I think. Like we've always said, there's a fantastic amount of talking going on right now, and it all sounds really positive, and I'm happy. I am. I like hearing about positivity and things that could prosper Manchester United going forward. It has been a doom and gloom sort of cesspit, hasn't it, Old Trafford and Man United talk over recent years. So anything that brings us back up a little bit and cheers us up and the outlook's better, I'm all for it. I really am. But there is going to need to be plenty of walking as well as that talking, and that only happens with success on the pitch. It's pointless polishing the turd, isn't it? You cannot make Manchester United look good, but then the product is shit. Do you know what I mean? It's like, we need to be playing attractive football and competing in the best trophies. Having the best stadium and build around it and match day experience counts for nothing if what the actual main event is. It's like you could be going to an absolute dud of a concert and have an absolute ball before you got there, and then it just won't. That's it. It's dead in the water as soon as you actually kickstart the main show. It's not worth it at the end of the day, is it? And then people will know that, yeah, we can have a great time before the game, but ultimately we're going for the game. Like, we want to watch football. We want to watch attractive football. There is news just coming out, actually, which I'm just going to read, regarding Manchester United targeting Brentford boss Thomas Frank, reports from the MEN. We know all about this. In the MEN, I think, just turning round the same news again with this one. We know, I have been told as well, that Manchester United do have Thomas Frank on their shortlist for possible managers if Ten Hag loses his job. It is a name that is on Man United's list, and I can see why. He has done a lot, but say, for instance, Brentford get relegated this season. I know they probably won't. They're just going to get away with it, I think, because of financial fair play and hampering Nottingham Forest. They have dropped off a little bit. Their time will come. They need investment this summer, Brentford. But can you imagine, like, United looking at managers that are bottom end of the table in the relegation fight? Again, no disrespect to Frank. I think he is a better manager than Gareth Southgate. But I just don't think he has got any chance of getting that United job. And honestly, you're taking Ten Hag over Thomas Frank, aren't you? You would? Surely? I'll ask the question. You guys tell me in the chat. They need to make it affordable to all football fans as well. Andrew, that is a very, very good point. A very good point. I'm sure Graham said something. More tickets, please. Smashing likes are welcome too. Yeah. Oh, more tickles, please, says Graham. By that he means, yeah, don't worry, he's not being seedy or thingy there. If you're just joining the channel and watching for the first time, it means tickle the like button and give us a like. It's great. Financial fair play will drive teams right into the arms of the Super League. That is a worry, and that's why that PSR rule is going to change, Super Fat Frank, I feel. Like we spoke about the other day, like the way that them rules are going to change, I feel like that's going to benefit Manchester United, Manchester City. Big revenue clubs are going to be jumping all over that, and that will keep them away from the Super League. It will. And let's be honest, the Super League isn't going to take the runt of the litter. No disrespect to the rest of the teams outside of the Big Six. It's just not appealing, and they won't be able to sell it, will they? So, yeah, I do believe that the PSR, the financial fair play, I think it'll all change. I think this ultimately in the end will be why City probably get away with most of their charges as well. They will. Couldn't stand watching Frank chewing the chud with the chewing gum in United dugout. No thanks, says Anthony. Doesn't want Thomas Frank. Not a fan of Frank. He's not really done anything to prove worthy, says Boxing Straight Talk. A promotion and keeping Brentford in the Premier League is very, very good. But it's not United standard, is it? It's not. It really isn't. But guys, that pretty much sums up the show today so far. I'll be back later on this evening, 6:30, with all the other updates. To all the new members, thank you. All the renewed members, thank you so much. Please make sure you give the video a like on the way out, guys. We have just smashed over the 150 mark. Thank you so much. Great show early on today to start the week. In the countdown to real football coming back and Easter this weekend. By the way, I have just been told it is Jadon Sancho's birthday. Are you bothered? But happy birthday anyway, Jadon. Hope you have a good day, my man. And that is pretty much us done and dusted, guys. Thank you so much for all your contributions and your input into the live chat. Make sure you drop your likes in, like I said, and get your comments in on the video once it has finished the live stream. Cheers, everybody. I will see you all at 6:30 later on. Have a great rest of your Monday.